Hi everybody, this is Dorothy Kilty with Raccoon Alley Creations and Lori Padilla with At Piles of Paragraphs on YouTube, and I have started a monthly challenge using up our vintage postcards because we have so many of them, and we thought this would be fun. Now what we did is we have, for each month, we have a theme. So January was advertising, so that was finished last month. February we have 3-piece collage. And then here's the rest of the challenges for the rest of the month. Now, 3-piece collage, this does not mean that there can't be anything else besides the 3 pieces, but it does mean that this is kind of the basis for the 3-piece collage. So let me show you first. I have this old postcard, and this is a summer resort in Norway. Not sure how old this postcard is, but I thought this was kind of cool. And so I don't want to, in this case, completely cover up the postcard. So what I'm thinking about doing is, so this is just a book page, of a foreign language page, okay? And it can go over here, here, however I want to do it. This is player piano paper with the cool lines, and I just love this stuff. I'm going to just tear this down here a little bit, and I'll decide how much I want. And then the third piece that I'm going to use is going to be this bird, these 2 birds that I cut off a card. Not sure where I got this, but I liked it. So that's going to be it. Now, the question is, how much of this do I want to cover up? And I think that what I'm going to do is take a little bit more off that, okay? So, and then this one, I'm going to tear this here to start. Okay, like this. And one of the reasons that I tore the left side of this torn piece of page was because I do like this ragged edge here where it came out of the book, okay? So we can put this, and then we can add this here. Now, I am going to ink the edges of this, these pieces of paper and the birds, okay? Now, one of the reasons for inking something like the birds and stuff is that even when you're fussy cutting, sometimes you end up with little pieces of the background color showing around the edges that you've done. And this just adding a little bit of, this is vintage photo, to the edges that kind of reduces that, okay? And then around here, the vintage photo will actually help reinforce, bring attention, emphasize, that's the word I'm looking for, the edges on this. And then the same with this book page. So, now the question is, a lot of times with book pages, there's kind of an almost unconscious tendency to put the words right side up. But one of the things that it's good to be conscious of is the fact that this is shapes. This is a combination of things that make shapes. So it can be put sideways or any other way you want to put it in order to have, have the shapes be the question, not necessarily the words. Now, when I'm looking at a language that's foreign to me, I don't know what the words say. So that in some ways makes it a little bit easier for me to just enjoy the shape of the letters and everything. So, okay, I'm going to start with, here, let me get this over here. Excuse my boarding house reach. Okay. This paper, not sure, I got this paper in Happy Mail, and I think it's gorgeous. And I also think that, or notice that it's very, very fragile. But I'm gluing player piano paper on, and to me, when you've got torn edges, add texture, the little cuts in this to play the notes and stuff, and this adds kind of texture and interest to it. Okay, so I'm going like that, and then I can put these birds here. Now, very often when I have, these birds, they kind of have, there's kind of little branches and stuff that it's sitting on, but they kind of look to me like they're floating through the air. And so sometimes what I like to do, if I can get this drawer open, what is the matter with this? Aha, that's what's the matter with it. Sometimes adding a little something at the bottom can give it kind of round your figure. So I have all these words that I got into digital. That one's from Line Dot Arrow, as it happens. So as I said, this collage is basically 3 pieces. Not going to do that after all. I'm going to do what I was originally thinking about doing, and I'm just going to add some stamping. So this is like the wavy lines that come when you from a postage cancellation. Okay, so like that. So now when I put the birds on it, they kind of have ground to settle in. Do you see that? And so you also can add some, I'm being lazy and not getting this out, so just across there, okay? So when I said that you can add more than just the 3 pieces, that's what I was talking about, is you can add things like stamping or stenciling or other things that are not, 3 pieces of paper here to make your collage. So I'm just going to put that right there. And that is my 3-piece collage. Okay. All right. Well, I want to thank you very much for watching. I hope that you'll check out Lori's challenge entry and Piles of Paragraph. I think she's planning on doing it kind of in the middle of the month. I'm doing it the first of the month, and she'll do it at the middle of the month. And then don't watch out for our other coming categories with each month, okay? Thanks very much for following along, and I appreciate all your support. Love to read your comments, and love it if you will subscribe to my channel.